And now, Starliner Media presents Music Night at the Majestic's Holiday Extravaganza with your host, Michael Boswell.
All right, time once again for Music Night at the Majestic's Holiday Extravaganza. Joining us tonight, Thomson. Allie, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Michael. Good to be back.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, this time of the year, holiday music, Christmas music, can't help but put you in a good mood.
Yeah, I think so. Generally it's one of those things that happens every year. It's a funny thing though when you asked me to do this. We have I guess a bit of a tradition. I don't know if it's the same in the States, but certainly growing up, there was a lot of records that would always come out at Christmas that were what I would call kind of novelty records.
Mm-hmm.
And there still are. I guess there's modern versions of that. So some of my selections today probably will fall into that category of,
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, it's not serious music particularly, but it does get you in the kind of holiday spirit, as it were.
Yeah. Well, what would a few of those be?
Well, principally, the main one and this would have been it would have come out in my early teens. There's a British sort of band. It was they were pop really, but they had rock overtones called Slade,
Mm-hmm.
and they had a massive hit here, which continues to be one of the quintessential British Christmas songs, called "Merry Christmas, Everybody." And it's not, as I say, it's not something that musically I particularly love, but it's just as soon as you hear it, it's Christmas, and every year it comes out again and people keep playing it. So it's definitely got something about it. But that would be the most obvious kind of novelty Christmas song that I secretly quite like.
Now, what would a few of the other Christmas songs that you enjoy or put you in the Christmas mood?
Well, I mean, I think coming sort of if we would kind of go backwards in time, so in the 80s, I wasn't again a massive fan of Wham, but then I did become a huge fan of George Michael as he kind of evolved as an artist. And Last Christmas was the big Christmas hit for Wham, and again that's a song that it's a bit cheesy, but it just a bit like the Slade song, it just immediately kind of makes you feel good about Christmas, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But if I go further back, really the songs, and this is music that I actually really do love, but my father was a massive Sinatra fan. I mean, so I think when we talked earlier, I was saying that my eldest brother, was quite a big influence on my musical taste and stuff, but my dad was as well, because Sinatra was always played around the house. And so a lot of the Sinatra stuff and the Rat Pack stuff, old
Dean
Martin singing Let It Snow and stuff like that. That again instantly gets me in the mood for Christmas. And I think we have a CD that we play that's the Rat Pack Christmas CD, and my daughters who are all in their kind of early 30s, late 20s, they love that CD as well. So but so that whole era of music. But if there's one song, if you said to me choose one Christmas song, and this is pretty predictable, but it's the Christmas song by Nat King Cole.
That's mine too.
And specifically, I looked it up, the Ralph Carmichael conductor. So that would have been, they made a stereo version of it in 61.
Mm-hmm.
And that to me is probably, if somebody said, what's the song that makes you feel brilliant at Christmas? It would be that. It would be Nat King Cole.
Yeah, it's for me, that's the definitive Christmas song / recording. Because
Yes.
when you hear it, for me,
Yeah,
it kind of defines the essence of Christmas music.
definitely. And he was just like an amazing, I mean, I listened to it when I knew we were going to speak. I had to listen to those songs again. And, his voice was just so smooth. And, you can listen to Sinatra now and you can hear the sort of the faults a little bit in some of his delivery, you know, although I'm a massive Sinatra fan. But when you listen to Nat King Cole, it's like, geez, did he have auto-tune then? You know? Because his pitch is just perfect. His timing is immaculate. His tone, yeah, superb.
And he made it seem so easy, so effortless for him,
Yeah.
even though you know he put a tremendous amount of effort into getting to that standard of
Yes.
singing that he did.
Yeah, I don't know that much about the recording side of those artists, a bit kind of bit before my time, but certainly the as vocal performances, they really stand up. And the Sinatra, I was listening to some of the Sinatra Christmas stuff as well. And again, I've made a note. There's an album he did with the Ralph Brewster Singers, which was all those fantastic backing vocals and those answering vocals. So he'll sing along and they'll answer it in 3 or 4 part harmony. That to me, that's a real Christmas sound as well, you know, especially on those arrangements. Those, you know, like like Have Yourself a Merry Christmas and I'll Be Home for Christmas. Those songs, you know. So yeah, that's my instant Christmas music.
Yeah, well, with Sinatra, I think the Christmas Waltz is my favorite Christmas song of his.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean though by those vocal arrangements?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
absolutely.
He was famous, obviously, for his work with people like Nelson Riddle on string arrangements. But these singers, they add something to that era of his music as well. That's just magical.
Yeah, it makes it come alive, if you will, for lack of a better description.
Yeah. So yeah, so they're my earliest memories of Christmas is my dad playing lots of Sinatra, and you know, teenage years listening to Slade, and then a little bit of a guilty pleasure liking Wham's Last Christmas.
What's the most recent Christmas song you've heard that really stuck with you?
Probably none. I mean, I don't really. Do you mean like a contemporary Christmas song?
Correct, or even a contemporary recording of a classic Christmas song.
I mean, I sort of like the Bublé stuff. You know, he's done a lot of. We used to listen. There was a Harry Connick Jr. Christmas album we used to really listen to a lot. But you see, I'm leaning towards jazz standards and those interpretations of it. You know, those versions of it. That would be the most contemporary Christmas recordings that I would have liked. Would have been like Harry Connick and Bublé. But Bublé, I find something doesn't quite connect with me on him. I don't know what it is because he's technically a great singer and you know all that stuff. But yeah, so yeah, that would be about as that's about as contemporary as I can get, I'm afraid.
Yeah, well, you know, it's Neo Rat Pack.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I listen to a lot of very contemporary music, but not per se in the Christmas genre, you know.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I like about Christmas music, Ali, is the fact that you can play a Sinatra song or Nat King Cole, and then follow it with a contemporary Christmas song, and they'll have that same vibe. Clearly different generations take on it, but there's still a Christmas feel to the songs.
Yes. Do you get those novelty songs though in America at Christmas? Where I mean, as I say, I don't listen to a lot of contemporary Christmas songs, but I'm sure there are lots of kind of really annoying, like sampled, auto-tuned versions of Christmas songs.
Well, you know, obviously the Chipmunk song,
stuff, you know.
Yeah. Well, say the Chipmunk song,
yeah,
has been a perennial since 1958.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, those characters are still around now. Just this morning, I heard I Want to Spend Christmas with Elvis, which was clearly a 1957 era Christmas novelty song. So yeah, I mean, there's quite a few on there. So, but you know, as with anything else, the cream of the novelty crop, always rises. So those are the ones that you still
That
hear
sounds
all these years
slightly
later.
a contradiction in terms, but I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Give me the classics, the classic Christmas standards any time, and I'll be happy for Christmas.
Yeah. Well, tell me this. You mentioned Christmas in Scotland. You've lived in Scotland, England, and the U.S.
Yes.
The difference in the Christmas celebration or presentation in those three places.
Scotland, Christmas is big in Scotland, but the big night in Scotland is what we call Hogmanay, which is New Year's Eve. So you the Christmas thing is the family thing, but the big social event for the entire year is Hogmanay. And so that's the bigger night of Christmas in Scotland. In England, it's very traditional. Like this weekend, there'll be the carol singing, and I'm not doing any of that, but my wife is. In the States, I think I've only spent one Christmas. I've spent some Christmases in the Caribbean, weirdly, and they really get into it in the Caribbean, but again in their own style with their own music, and the Caribbean's colourful anyway, but at Christmas it's even more colourful. But my memories of I've been in and around America, but not actually on Christmas, apart from once I went to LA for Christmas, and that was just weird. there was no snow, and there was no. They tried, but Christmas on the beach just, didn't seem right to me.
A lot of people say LA is just weird anyway, even when it's not Christmas.
Yeah, I had a great time living in LA, if I'm honest. But I just the first time that I went there it's the only time I was there for Christmas. It did feel a bit odd. But we have, I think I said to you, we've recently moved, and we've sort of done work on the house now, and it's all coming together, and our daughters will be home. So Christmas for us really still is a big family thing, and we love it. Because I'm in a new home, and it's a really beautiful village we live in. I'm really excited about this Christmas. I think it's going to be one to remember, I hope.
Well, you know what, Allie? That sounds like the perfect note to wrap up this holiday extravaganza on.
Okay, well, thank you for inviting me to share some Christmas love, and I wish you a very happy Christmas.
And same to you, Allie.
Thanks, man.
All right, everyone. On that note, we'll bring this one to a close. Thank you for watching. Have a good night.
If you enjoyed Music Night at the Majestic's Holiday Extravaganza, follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and at musicnight.net. Music Night at the Majestic is a copyright production of Starliner Media. Any use of this program, its audio, or visual images without the express written consent of Starliner Media is prohibited.